Alright, welcome back to another video of my multiplayer combat tutorial series. Let's start with the fun stuff. Let's make the AI actually kill us. So this is what we have. We can damage him. He cannot, however, damage us. So we're gonna add some damage to his attacks, and they are very easy to dodge now, as you can see, because he doesn't really care about. Once he starts swinging, he never turns towards the player and things like that. So we're just gonna polish up the attacks a little bit. Bam, bam. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do in this video. I think I have this, I'm not sure what I thought. This should only be able to be, because like if you're sprinting, that stop makes sense. I have this stop on everything. It's just super annoying. So I'm gonna remove that also. Yeah, I can do that between videos. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It makes me very happy, and I also always forget to say that in the beginning of the video, but I noticed like all other YouTubers do that, so there's probably a reason. Please like and subscribe. It makes me happy. Apparently likes is good for the YouTube algorithm, so smash the like button, as everyone says. But if you dislike the video, or if you don't like the video, you can also dislike it, because that makes me feel like, okay, maybe this was a bad video, so I should do better. So if you don't like the video, you can also dislike, and you can leave a comment on what I could do better so that I improve. Yeah, let's get into it. What did I say we were about to do? We're gonna add some damage to the AI. So there are a couple of ways to do this. In our player character, we already set up the damage for our player, as you can see, and with the player we're using tracing. So if we, I'm not sure where I put it. This is the AI, not the player. If we go into our player and we search for trace, we are gonna find start trace. So basically it's a ticking function that does a trace. We set this up in a previous video, so you should always have this. So basically we are doing a sphere trace for objects, and we are looking for our pawn. The reason I'm using sphere traces instead of collision, because you could also use collision as well. The reason I'm doing that in my player character is because I basically you could get this impact point. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. Get surface type. Okay, yeah. So from this hit, you could get surface type. You can't do that from collision at this point. Maybe you can do it in UE5, I'm not sure. Maybe you can do it in 4.27 that is coming soon. I've been complaining about that forever. But collision can't detect surface type as far as I know. Not anymore. So basically you could do, but here you can actually get the surface type. And the surface type is basically a physics material. So if you have like wood, and the hit registers a hit on wood, you get wood, and you can do like wooden particles, and you can do stone particles and things like that. This is also the way you usually do foot systems. So that's why I like to use sphere tracing for the player character. For the AI, I don't really care about that. If you're doing like a hyper realistic thing, or if it matters a lot to you that like when the AI hits the environment, because it's obviously gonna do that sometimes. So if the AI like hits a wall with a sword, there should be like sparks and stuff like that on the wall. I don't really care about that. Most games don't do it for the AI, I've noticed, and usually you're usually just focused on your player. And if we do like a heavy attack or something like that from the AI where you hit like the ground, you're just gonna manually do like particles from that anyway. So that's why our enemy is gonna be using collision instead. So we're gonna do ignore everything on the weapon mesh, accept pawn. Make sure that you have generate overlap events. So just for starters, on component begin overlap, do a other actor cast to player third person character, and if we hit, we're just gonna print string damage. So let's see. He's shouting because he's hitting us, and we're not doing any damage. Good. That's for some reason. It's probably, yeah, collision is looking annoying to work with also. So it's well dynamic. We are probably ignoring something that our player is. Let's just do overlap all for now and see if that works. That didn't work either. Why is that? I know why. So if you go into the, we have the hammer, it's probably because this hammer doesn't have any collision. So let's set up some collision. Yeah, remove collision. That means there is no collision on this hammer. So let's start by adding a capsule simplified collision. So you need this on all of your meshes or all of your weapons that you're going to be using, something like that. And usually I do like a little bit outside of the weapon because I find that being, it like compensates for the eye or something. I feel like otherwise your eye feels like you're actually hitting. Okay, not work. Yeah, okay, you can see the damage takes now. So we are taking damage when we get hit. But we are taking damage on like the wrong places, but we can see that it's actually registering the collision. So that was the point of that. So that's good. That's the first thing. Now we need to enable and disable the collision so that it's only using only enabled during an attack swing that actually uses that collision. You can see that we also have a grab collision, so we're also going to do a sphere collision, and this is going to be the parented to the no, you need to do the, it's a child of the mesh, and hand L. And if we go into the mesh and we pause animes, we are gonna, we're just gonna set, because we have this grab collision, and maybe, just maybe, I'm not promising anything here, we'll do a grab attack. Maybe we'll set that up, we'll see. It's a little bit complicated to do that, but it's fine. So we have L hand call. L hand call, left hand collision. We're not going to do anything with it for now. We're just going to have it there. So we are going to be using these states as well, and we probably have some animation states here, right? Here we have some player states. Let's just copy one of those and call this one AI. The reason I start with player and AI is because when you are in the animation, it's going to be a lot easier to differentiate between them because they always appear in the line. So AI, enable damage. I should have copied this one, right? Yeah, that's fine. So since this is the AI, we're just going to delete everything. And we're going to do cast, get pawn, get owner. Yeah, we're going to get the owner of the mesh component, and we're going to cast to master AI. And we're gonna do the same on the end. Perfect. That's good. And for the master AI, let's do a function. Actually, do we even need to do a function? So when we are colliding, where did I put it? Apparently I put it in the event graph. Let's just move it to the combat graph because that makes more sense. So you guessed it. What we need here is we need a, if we switch this one, so this is already damaged players, and it's gonna be the type of an array. So we have an array with already damaged players. So basically, first we're gonna check if it contains the item. Is this player that we are overlapping already in already damaged players? If that's true, we're not going to do anything. If it's false, we're going to continue with the damage doing. And now we need a function in our player, basically. So let's do a function called player take damage. And we don't have an HP bar, so we should probably get that. But let's just start with this. Do we have? We don't even have any variables, right? Max health. So create two variables, one called max health and one called current health. Set current health. So when we take damage, we're gonna do a set current health, and we're gonna set the current health to the current health minus the damage we receive. And this is so far pretty much exactly the same as we are setting up in the AI, when we damage the AI. In this case, let's just print it as well, print string, just so we can notice what health we are at. And by default, it's gonna be 100 max health and current. So in the master AI, if it doesn't contain the already damaged player, we're gonna do player take damage. And it's easier from the AI to the player because, as I said, the replication is different. In the player, we are doing a multicast to actually damage the AI to all players around. But in the here we are not. In this one, it's fine with just sending directly to the player. And we are gonna do 10. And what we're also gonna do here is after we've done damage, we are gonna get this one as well, and we're gonna add. So after we've dealt damage, we're gonna add the player to already damaged players. So that means we can only do one damage instance, even if we're colliding like with the arm, stop colliding, colliding with the chest, stop colliding, colliding with the next arm, and stuff like that. Because collision and traces usually trigger more than one time in these cases. So that should be fine. And what we are gonna do now is this is the question about replication. Let's start by doing this on the begin play of the enable damage. get weapon mesh, set collision enabled, and we're gonna set it to collision enabled query and physics. And on the notify end, we're gonna do no collision. That's it. And in the begin play, we're gonna disable set collision so that it starts with the collision disabled. And on the notify end, we also need to get already damaged players, and we need to clear it. So that we actually reset and actually can damage our player one more time. Let's see. That's fine, I think. What the last thing we need to do is we need to go into our troll and we need to grab our attacks. Boom, 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 boom. And we need to, on the notifiers, we are gonna add notify state, and you can see here now that it's easy to differentiate what we want to differentiate, the player ones and the AI ones. So we don't use the player enable damage for the AI because they are different. So where do we wanna enable damage? There. And we wanna end the damage there. Bam. And that was that one. So this one is the grabbing one. We're not gonna be doing that one for now. And this is the short one, right? Yeah. So this one will be there maybe. Add notify state, AI enable damage. Bam. Somewhere around here. Let's see. Does it work? He didn't like that at all, did he? What's happening? Did I do something weird? This can't be because of this. Where's before? 1 second, let me just see. And I hate myself after like 10 minutes of like, what? Not understanding a thing, no idea. I felt like the animation blueprints had bugged out or something. I realized I just basically, before we set the collision, we did pause animations. The animation won't work if they are paused, so you just disable that and it works. So that's just me being a horrible person, but it's working now. So if we go into the character, you can see 90 damage on both the server and the client, taking some more damage, and yeah, 70 damage, and you can see we have some, yeah, that's not nice. So let's clean up a little bit. We are only 20 minutes in. We're gonna go into the mesh. We are gonna go collision. We are gonna do custom, and we are gonna ignore camera. That's the first thing. This one is also gonna ignore camera. So that's one thing. You could also see that basically, let me show you. When he attacks, you can see that he's gonna continue to attack right. If I just go behind it, he thinks he's in range, so he's just gonna keep attacking forward even if I'm behind him. That's a little bit weird. So we're gonna fix that as well. And these are all just workarounds basically. One way to do it, the first thing, or the first way to do it, is we are gonna create a function. No, I don't want to delete that. In the master AI, we're gonna do a function called turn to target. And we are gonna do a, how do we do this? I should probably do, maybe this is a separate video. Yeah, because otherwise I will get stuck and we will do this forever. I'm gonna pause this video here, upload this one, and then we're gonna do the next video. We're gonna do that. Sorry for cheating you. Let's do a separate video on that, because that's also gonna be like 20 minutes or something. So yeah, that's it. You can see that we are damaging the player. We're gonna set up a health bar for the player, and we're gonna make the attack animations a little bit more nice. So that's gonna be it for this episode. As always, please like the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let me know in the questions in the comments if you have any questions, and peace out. See you in the next one.